So what was the experience like? What was the exercise like? Was it difficult to figure out? What do you find easy, difficult? What are the sort of some of the tips that you can share with others?
So let's say,
Any questions?
Yeah. No. So lining up to those experiences we had or skills that were relatively easy ones.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to crazy ideas, it's very tough one.
I see.
And we shared one round. There's no crazy ideas coming up yet. And you started second round by inviting to the Minami-san on the table, and I started having some sort of creativity after.
I see. What exactly did you suggest to the group?
Yeah, actually, if you try to find something to sell, people tend to focus the skill. Right? But if you focus skill, it's not very exciting or unique, or it's or you don't want to sell your skill for cheap price, right?
500,
So
yeah.
so I suggested that you don't focus on skill, but a lot of experience. So if designers sell the design, that is selling skills, right? But if designers sell that the way to be a designer, that is experience. Right, so I would say anybody has unique experience. So if you focus on your experience program, you can find out a unique one. That is what I said.
Yeah. I heard it from, yeah. Yeah, it was very, very helpful. So if you, I was just asking Minami-san what kind of things would be very much marketable. And the same thing, he said that the experience. So if you can sort of take a stock of your experience, and I'm pretty sure that there are others who would like to do the similar kind of things as you have done. And probably you're one of the few who can share that particular experience to the person who is trying to do that, the same thing. For example, I am right now, I am just at the tail end of writing a book, which is a collection of online columns. But once I was invited to the conference in Abu Dhabi, I had no idea what to wear, and all the other people from Japan were mad. So I asked them, but they couldn't respond. They said, no, you don't have to worry about that. I was very worried. I really didn't want to do something which is totally against their culture. And even though that was an international conference, I needed somebody who could tell me, you need to bring so and so and so. And so I finally figured out the lady who was an Islam scholar. I remember I met her once. So I emailed her and I said, what should I bring? Should I bring black stuff or what? And I also contacted my friend who had a friend at Japan Times who has been stationed, who has been based in that area. So I met her and I asked the same question. And because they have their own experience of being there as a woman, as a Japanese woman, their experience was very, very precious, helpful for me. But I couldn't ask any man. That was what it was. So even though that was a very limited kind of experience, but that was very, very helpful for me. So I think each one of you has something like that that you can share, and that will be very helpful to those who may be looking for that particular process or experience. So I thought that was a very interesting example, experience, going for the experience. Probably you have some kids, you have a child, and you don't know how to deal with them. Probably you can contact some of the parents who may have had the same kind of problem. But you can't announce, or you can't, tell a lot of people what kind of issues you have. So that may be very interesting. Any other? Did you find something that's that you can put on carbonara, for example? What was the difficulty?
I feel my experience not that unique.
Unique?
Not that unique.
Not that unique?
Yeah. Like, I feel like maybe just, like, I feel I'm not the unique person. Maybe most people go through this way, like, just go to the school and just study and, like, how to get a job. So I don't feel I'm unique because everyone around me has like similar experience. So because we have the same, almost similar experience, so I cannot feel I'm really unique because everyone around me have the similar experience, like even study abroad. Most of my friends like went to something, or they live there, or they was born there, or like that. So I don't feel I'm really unique.
I see. What would you do if you were in that situation? I think one thing which I can think of is that you tend to be close, or you tend to interact with the people who are similar to you. So unless you get out and see different kinds of people, it's very difficult for you to figure out how unique you are. But I mean, how many people have had the experience of studying abroad? I mean, if we are talking about the total population, I think that is still a very small percentage. But that's the kind of people that in your community. But there are others who may want to do that and who are dying to find out what it was like. For that, I think your experience would be very unique and very helpful.
The one thing is, we are same group with Chika, and we, all of us, believe she is unique.
Agree.
Agree. All of us.
She has a good memory or idea or this.
Yes, she has a very good memory.
Yes.
Once she sees something, she can remember every single detail of that.
I see.
No, I tried to, I cannot remember everything at one time. Of course.
But maybe based on her strengths, for example, she can see the slides that are prohibited to take a photo, but she can remember most of the things.
Okay.
So based on, for example, interaction with some other background people, we found that she is unique.
I see. Okay. That's very helpful. I think that's very good. So I think that's one thing which you can tell yourself. Get out, from your comfort zone, so to speak. We often talk about, you have to get out of your comfort zone. But I think if you are with all these, similar people, you'll never realize how unique or how special you are. And so sometimes I think it's a good idea to get out.
Just one quick comment on your comment. You don't have to be very unique, but what you need to do, what you want actually to have a unique experience, right?
Yeah.
So meet sushi chef in Ishinomaki. I'm not unique, as I said, but meeting with such a sushi chef, it's a unique experience. So you want to just socialize with unique people, or or the people you don't meet every single day in Tokyo. So you go out, or even in Tokyo, there are certain people you don't know at all. You haven't met. So just go out and meet those people and find opportunities and places even where you can meet those kind of people. So that's what you need. You don't have to be very unique. It's very hard.
Let's ask some of you, the Sims people. You have been here for a little while, and how did you find the exercise or workshop? Put you on the spot.
Yeah, you were talking about getting out of your comfort zone before. I think, first of all, coming to Japan and Tokyo as an exchange semester was already a step towards that goal. especially not speaking the language. So it's a lot about getting out of your comfort zone. And then the exercise was very interesting because, as mentioned before, I think it was really hard to try to know your skills and come up with crazy ideas because your skills are kind of already somewhere, fixed, so it was hard. But it was very interesting to see the difference in cultures as well.
You want me to add something?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I sort of concur what Lars said about the exercise. When you're trying to figure out your own skills, I mean, if we're talking about hidden skills, it's hard to be sort of how do you say, ecocentric in that specific setting. You sort of want other people to kind of spot your skills, like not yourself in a way. So in a way, it was hard to actually showcase yourself in a way that I'm good at this and this and this, because it's hard for, at least for me, and I think it's hard for everyone in this audience to actually just highlight something that it's hard to see yourself.
Okay. Yeah, I was just going to ask, I think a lot of Japanese in particular feel that they're not that unique. They don't have anything special to say. So do you find, is there a difference in your country, where you're from?
I cannot really agree, because I think that in a lot of countries people are very different. Like our countries are very different as well. He's from Poland, I'm from Germany, he's from Switzerland, he's from Finland. So this is already something that is very unique. But of course, I feel that at least for me in Germany, people try to be a little bit more unique, although the setting is not different. So people are not more or less unique than Japanese people, but the perception from themselves might be a little bit different, yes.
Yeah, so firstly about the exercise, I very much enjoyed it, because normally in, let's say, daily life, I'm not drawn into those to-do lists, assignments, homeworks, other things, and I don't actually take the time to think about my skills. So that was very interesting to just think about it. I wrote down some things. They aren't really business ideas or anything like that, but it's interesting to realize what I'm good at, that I don't really think about too often. And as far as the question about Japanese people is concerned, I agree with Pascal that I mean, the people I've met are very interesting. It's just they're kind of shy. They don't really like to show off, or maybe to show their skills, because show off has a negative connotation. And whereas in fact they are very unique. They just have to realize it and show it to other people in a positive way.
Yeah, well, definitely agree with what everyone said. But one of the things that I found during the exercise that was kind of interesting for me, of course it's very hard to kind of express yourself and always try to like think of your own hidden skills and move forward after that, because it's very hard to put a value on that by yourself. So it's always someone else who will pay the money for, you know, in Kokona or for something like that. So it's you always need, you know, the counterpart to be able to think that your hidden skill is something valuable. So we were having a lot of trouble kind of thinking of something that was, what you call it, kind of more concrete. We had a lot of kind of trivial, you know, like more abstract kind of skill sets that we had in common, but it was hard because we didn't know each other well enough to add a value to that. So that's it.
Great. Anybody else?
There is one person who said that he doesn't have any special skill, But we will listen to him, and he said he can listen to the people, and also he can drive the big car. We end up finding a fantastic job for him that he can bring Hammersmith people to the Shinomaki by his car, bus, and he can go there and do the pro bono, listening to the old age people, which I think came out from our discussion. So I think it was great.
Very unique.
I think listening to others is definitely a very good skill, because I think a lot of people would like to tell somebody. I mean, there are so many people who want to talk, but not too many people are willing to listen. So I think if you can just sell that, I think that would be a very good one. Any other comments? What about you? Yeah. Since we are running out of time, so probably your final comment.
Well, I think everything is relative. As Yoko said, if you don't think you're unique, let's say being in the places like South America, you're a superhero. You know Japanese animation. Although you don't know much, but in a relative term, you know much more than those guys. So if they ask you about animation, absolutely. Every single day I do that, and my middle name is Japanese animation. You can say that because they don't know. So go out and meet people you don't meet. That's where uniqueness is. And also when you meet people you don't know, you have a great experience. Oh wow, different point of view, different guy, different skill set, different culture. So that's what you want. This is it.
Yeah, I would say same thing. When I started the Nimai Miromeshi, a second business card project, the people in the IT industry, they're, of course, many of them don't feel like they're unique. But once they start a project with the people from media, people from finance, and people from the manufacturers, his IT skills is very special. And he could contribute a lot in the project. So once you started going out from your company or your community, you would be special. So I would say same thing. Just meet anybody you didn't know. That's a great thing.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. And I hope that you get a little bit of a sense of how to identify your special, unique experience, special skills. And I think one way to identify is to get out and just go and do something with a different group of people. And then you find out how good and how unique you are. And when it comes to putting the value, price to it, like when I was working for the consulting firm, or when I was freelancing, when I am freelancing, sometimes you sort of charge big money, much more than their whatever budget that your client sets. And they may have a little bit of difficulty accepting it, but you sort of push. Then you realize that you have to deliver. So that's a very good incentive, or a very good sort of, it almost forces you to do a very good job because you charge so much. And if people get disappointed after you've made such a big push, you're in big trouble. And the words of mouth get around very, very quickly. So you have to make sure that you do a spectacular job when you charge. So don't try to, what I'm saying is that don't sell yourself too cheap. Figure out how much of a value that you can provide to a certain group of people and in certain conditions, and go for it. Because people tend to get too shy and say, well, am I unique? I am not, so I'll just do whatever, rather inexpensive fee. But that doesn't solve, I don't think. So that's one thing which is difficult, but you can give it a try and see what happens. Okay, thank you very much for the quite interesting sort of exercise, and I hope that you keep thinking about what kind of uniqueness you have what kind of unique experiences you have, and what kind of skills you have. And let me now go to the, I would like to thank both two guests.